Magic Domain Cemetery? There is such a good thing in the Magic Realm Cemetery. Wouldn't it have been taken away a long time ago? Xiao Yan was a little puzzled. After all, something that can directly upgrade a 1-star Emperor to a 2-star Emperor will definitely attract many people to snatch it. And it has even been taken away a long time ago. How can you get yourself? Haha, how can ordinary people know the place of the Demon Clan? But in this tower, many unknown places are exposed here one by one. If you don't believe me, you can go back to the refining layer and look at the top of the tower. I believe you won't say that. Xiao Yan seemed to believe it or not when he heard the words, but still walked to the first floor. Suddenly, a figure flashed in the beam of light on the first floor, and it was Xiao Yan who came down from the second floor after hearing Zhang Lao's words. Xiao Yan scanned every corner of the first floor carefully. After a while, his gaze stopped at the top of the tower above his head. On it, there were many lines. These lines were quite obscure, but after Xiao Yan's careful observation, he found that these obscure lines seemed to be constructed into two extremely complex and ancient runes. The ancient runes are so complicated that people are dazzled, but the outline of that stroke seems to contain the essence of heaven and earth, which makes people addicted to it, which is extremely magical. Xiao Yan frowned, stunned by the scene in front of him. Obviously, he had never expected that there was such a mysterious thing on this ordinary layer. Is this a map? After Xiao Yan observed for a long time, he saw these strange lines clearly. The clan crest of the Xiao clan is also among them. The place where the Xiao clan is located is exactly marked. The sects, large and small, are represented by a strange symbol. It is inferred that this ancient and obscure rune is a map. Haha, that's right. This is the map of the Imperial Prefecture where you are. Look at the lines under the Tianma mountain range, and you will naturally understand. At this time, old John was already standing by Xiao Yan's side. Xiao Yan watched carefully again, as if a huge palace was imprinted in front of his eyes. These lines sucked Xiao Yan's soul power a little bit, and it appeared like a physical object in front of Xiao Yan's eyes. Is this an underground palace? A dim palace-like building appeared in front of Xiao Yan's eyes, but it existed underneath, an underground palace. Now Xiao Yan fully believed what old John said, and he was even more curious about this Zichen Su Lingta. Haha, boy, now you believe it. You don't have to worry about looking for this Magic Realm Cemetery. I will take you there. You quickly get acquainted with the burning decision. As soon as possible, use this complete burning decision skillfully, and then prepare things to go to the Tianma mountain range. Old John laughed. Xiao Yan nodded. The full version of the burning decision of the Shihui just now did take a lot of time to ponder and become familiar with, so he slowly walked to the center of the Qi refining layer, glanced at the bright figure in the center of the Qi refining layer, and couldn't help but purse his mouth again. After long, he swallowed Dan Lei that day. Both his body and his breath were greatly improved. Coming to the central position, Xiao Yan sat cross-legged not far from Long Yi, and his mind sank into his body again. The meridians in his body had already been changed by burning determination, flooding all parts of his body. After practicing for a while, I decided to absorb the pill refined by Xiaolong's ancestors. I don't know if I can reach the peak of the mid-stage of the 1-star duty. Xiao Yan licked the skin of his mouth, secretly thinking that if he could reach the peak of the midterm 1-star Emperor, his strength would undoubtedly be a great improvement. Xiao Yan closed his eyes and began to burn. A thin layer of red gauze gradually formed on the surface of Xiao Yan's body, slowly flowing, looking quite gorgeous. After the meridians in the burning determination sank into Xiao Yan's mind, the vindictive spirit in his body began to fly at an extremely fast speed, and wisps of flames rose on Xiao Yan's surface from time to time. Old John smiled slightly, and his figure faintly dissipated. Xiao Yan might have to practice like this for a long time. No, according to the regulations of the clan, newcomers must be naturalized after 3 years of inspection. At the same time, in the hall of the Xiao clan, an elder stared roundly and said in a loud voice. Xiao Li and Xiao Long were sitting in the middle of the hall, discussing with the elders in the 2 rows about Xiao Yan's early entry into the clan. At this time, they had been discussing for 2 hours. As expected by Xiao Li, there were many elders who strongly opposed it. The two sides couldn't argue and couldn't pass. The reason for support is naturally that special things can be done specially, and geniuses like Xiao Yan should be able to receive special care. But the reason for opposition is also very good. That is, the clan rules are the clan rules, and no one can make an exception. Otherwise, where is the authority of the clan rules? The two sides agreed on one word, and they couldn't argue, so they were so deadlocked that they couldn't pass. Xiao Long's face was extremely bad, and he slapped his palm heavily on the table. The table suddenly splashed with wood chips, and the surrounding teacups couldn't help shaking and shattering away. Xiao Long's temper was not very good. Some elders blocked him in this way, which made him extremely upset. If a genius like Xiao Yan is not naturalized soon, he still has to wait for 3 years to abide by the rules of the clan. If he is pulled away like Emperor Ming, it is too late to cry. No one stipulates that the clan cannot enter other forces. As long as he is not naturalized, he can. When the elders saw Xiao Long getting angry, their necks couldn't help shrinking. Xiao Long's status in the Xiao clan was second only to Xiao Li. Naturally, no one dared to squeak when Xiao Long started the fire. When the elders of the Xiao clan were afraid to speak, an elder sitting in the corner suddenly stood up and said, "It is indeed a bit wrong to rush to naturalize the clan in advance in violation of the clan rules. I don't think so. Xiao Yan is indeed a genius. Everyone can see it. As a special case, it is okay to enter the clan in advance, up to 2 years in advance, but first let him challenge those who are stronger than him. Only if he wins, he is now in the middle of the 1-star duty, and a year later, the clan selects the 1-star duty to come out in the later stage and let him challenge." I don't know the elders. What do you think? This is obviously a method of balance. No one can be guilty. Although it is a bit excessive, it can be regarded as giving Xiao Long a step down. Under the current circumstances, I am afraid this is the only way. Xiao Long's face eased slightly. Xiao Li also knew that this might be the only way. He really wanted to force Xiao Yan to naturalize immediately in advance. I was afraid that he would not be able to convince the public, so he asked Xiao Long. "That's fine, Xiao Long, what do you think?" Xiao Long's anger did not dissipate, and he turned to Xiao Li and said, "Don't you know the difference between the mid-stage and the late stage? Is it too unfair to a 1-star emperor to challenge the 1-star emperor 1 year later in the middle of the 1-star emperor? Then there is the genius. Who do you think can be promoted from the mid-stage to the late stage in just 1 year? What is the difference between this and not in advance? Look at how long Xiao Yan has only been here. Just that time of cultivation allowed him to enter the middle stage of the 1-star emperor, right? Since he is a genius, we have to believe him. Don't you like to bet? How about we bet again this time?" Xiao Li is not in a hurry or impatient. He doesn't think like Xiao Long in his heart. As the actual head of the Xiao clan, he is also currently the strongest of the Xiao clan. Although he is not as good as Xiao Long in refining medicine, he still has a unique vision in vindictive cultivation. For Xiao Yan, he always feels that some are not just geniuses. It was only in the early days of the 1-star Do Emperor that he was able to compete with a 1-star Do Emperor in the middle of Tian Minggu without falling into the wind. Therefore, he also wanted to see if Xiao Yan, a year later, could defeat a 1-star Do. In the later period of the Emperor,